All right, so looking at problem 5, part A, we would have, says, show the steps necessary to convert it into the rectangular form, x squared equals 4y plus 4. So the reason I wrote it like this is so that if you couldn't figure out how, you could still do parts B and C or anything coming, because you would know what I'm asking you to graph and find the focus and directrix of. So anyway, so getting started, I would recommend just taking and replacing sine with y over r. And then from there, you could just multiply both sides by this denominator. So r times the quantity 1 minus y over r equals 2, and then distribute r in. So it'll be r minus y equals 2. And then I'm going to isolate r by adding the y over. And then I'm going to square both sides. And then r squared can be swapped out for x squared plus y squared. Sooner or later, you'd figure out that you need to expand the right side. And then the y squareds would vanish if you subtracted them from both sides. And you'd be left with x squared equals 4y plus 4. Exactly what they gave you there. Okay, so this is worth 5 points. Let's see. 1 point for replacing sine theta with y over r at any point in the problem, even if you did it in a different order than I did it. Oops. Oh my goodness, none of my pens are What? Okay, anyway. Let's see. 1 point for at some point squaring both sides of your equation. 1 point for replacing r squared with x squared plus y squared. And then the last 2 points are for just having a very clear step-by-step process with no weird miracles occurring. You know who I'm talking to out there, that leads to the expression. So I'll just kind of say clear step-by-step. Let's say with no miracles occurring, right? Like no all of a sudden, look, I got it. Anyway, so 2 points for that. Okay. Let's see, graph the function on the rectangular coordinate plane. So to do so, personally, I would factor the 4 out. And then I would divide the 4 over, because we like stretch factors to be on the squared side. And so up to you how you went about this. Maybe leave it like that, I don't know. Anyway, so this would be a y equals x squared graph that got shifted down 1. And then you have a stretch of 1/4. So from the vertex out 1, up 1/4. Out 2, up exactly 1, because you're doing 1/4 of 2 squared. And this would be your 5 points of accuracy. If you wanted, you could be maybe an overachiever. You could go to the right 4. 4 squared is 16, then you need to go up 8. But that would be like, I guess there. I guess that's not the end of the world. You could do those, I guess, if you want. But here's the point. If you did these 5 points of accuracy, when you draw your parabola in, it's not a good idea to like, go way past that last point of accuracy unless you actually have one to aim for. So this is what I recommend you do, kind of, if you had these 5, then don't go too much past that last one with your arrow. So anyway, let's see, for points, 5 points. Let's see, one point for having a parabola at all that opens upward. Let's see, for having the vertex at 0, -1, let's make that worth 2 points. 1 for having the x in the right spot, 1 for having the y in the right spot. And then half a point per additional point of accuracy. I think I've made it pretty clear that I always want 5, so. Okay, so then that would add up to 5. There we go. Okay. Part C, find the focus and equation of directrix. Add the coordinates of the focus and the equation of the directrix to your graph. Of course, I've made that hard for me to show that, but whatever. Okay, add everything to the graph. Show clear work. Okay, so I would set 1/4p equal to the stretch factor and then show that p would have to be 1. You could also set 4p equal to 4 and you get the same thing. And then from there, you would have to know what p means. It's the distance from your vertex to your focus. So you'd have the focus would be at 0, 0. And then you'd have to know the directrix would be on the other side. And in this case, it would be horizontal. And so that would be at y equals -2. So 2 points for showing and getting p equals 1. Oops, 1 point. I apologize. I just noticed this is only worth 3 points. 1 point for that. And then 1 point for getting the focus at 0, 0, and then 1 point for getting the directrix drawn in with a dashed line and saying y equals -2. So 3 points. Here we go.